The apartment smelled faintly of sawdust and orange peel, the kind of quiet scent that only showed up when Nicki was trying to keep a secret. Nicki the fox had always been clever, but this required a different kind of cunning, patient, gentle, and precise. He stood in the corner of their shared living room, tail flicking as he measured the wall for the third time. Judith's books were stacked everywhere. On the coffee table, under the window, beside the couch, even balanced dangerously on the armrest like they might leap into a story of their own. She loved books the way some people love sunsets, deeply, reverently, as if each one carried a promise. And tonight, Nicki intended to honor that. He had spent weeks planning the shelf, not just any shelf, her shelf, curved edges so her paws wouldn't snag, warm oak to match her soft gray and white fur, and small carved details along the sides, tiny stars, leaves, and a subtle fox and rabbit motif that he pretended was accidental. It wasn't. Judith was supposed to be out visiting a friend. Nicki had counted the minutes like heartbeats. He tightened the final screw just as the door clicked open.
Nicki? Judith's voice floated in, curious and sweet. Nicki froze.
For half a second, panic flashed across his amber eyes. Then he exhaled, wiped his paws on his jeans, and stepped back.
In here, he said, trying and failing to sound casual. Judith rounded the corner and stopped.
The shelf glowed softly under the warm lights, perfectly aligned, already holding her favorite novels, worn spines, dog-eared pages, handwritten notes tucked between chapters. At the center sat a small carved wooden rabbit, reading a book beside a fox.
Her ears slowly lifted. You built this? She asked, voice barely above a whisper.
Nicki rubbed the back of his neck. I got tired of seeing your books sleep on the floor. They deserve better. You deserve better. Judith stepped closer, running her paw along the smooth wood. She noticed everything, the careful spacing, the way the shelf curved slightly upward at the ends, protective and intentional.
You remembered how I like my series grouped, she said, stunned. And you left room for the ones I haven't found yet. Nicki smiled.
I figured there are still stories you haven't fallen in love with. She turned to him then, eyes shining in that dangerous way that always unraveled him.
No one has ever done something like this for me, she said. You didn't just make a shelf. You made space for who I am. That hit deeper than he expected.
Nicki swallowed. You make space for me every day. This felt fair.
Judith didn't argue. She stepped forward and wrapped her arms around him, pressing her cheek into his chest.
His tail curled around her instinctively, warm and sure. They stood there in silence, the kind that doesn't need words.
After a moment, Judith pulled back just enough to look up at him. You know this means I'll need more books now.
Nicki chuckled softly. I built it strong. I believe in your reading addiction.
She laughed bright, genuine, and kissed him, slow and grateful.
Not dramatic, not rushed, just honest. Later, they sat on the floor together, backs against the couch, choosing which book would christen the shelf first. Judith leaned into him, book open but unread, her attention clearly elsewhere. Nicki glanced at the shelf one more time. It wasn't perfect, a fox could always see the flaws. But it held her stories now, and somehow, that made it perfect enough. Please subscribe to my channel at CJNTRTAINMENTCHANNEL.